Well, it doesn't seem like long ago Mike Zimmer was taking over a Leslie Frazier defense that ranked dead last in the league. After the addition of Linval Joseph and a good draft class or two, Zimmer turned the NFL's worst defense into the number one statistical unit in multiple categories, specifically yards against, points allowed, and third down stops, where in 2017 they broke the NFL record for third down conversion percentage. After watching the tape, it was obvious. Linval Joseph was a main catalyst to their success, citing the enormous impact a great nose tackle can do to the players around him and at all three levels of the defense. It's no secret now, the team was having so much success on third downs because the simple fact they were able to win on first and second down, putting opponents in third and long situations where Zimmer could do what he does best, which is dialing up blitzes and quarterback pressure in a variety of ways. As Linval hit the 30-year mark, however, his play started to slip. In fact, after a career high in tackles in 2016 with 77, Joseph's numbers dropped every season for the next 3 years straight. And Vikings fans watched Zimmer's defense drop from the best in the league to a rush defense that was bounced out of the top 10 and hovered as a middle-of-the-road team versus the rush, ranking as low as 19th in the league just last season in yards per attempt, the lowest Zimmer's rush defense has been since his first season taking over. While the two-time Pro Bowler was at one time a huge difference maker, it was clear the coaching staff and front office was ready to hit the reset button at such a vital position, which is why they brought in former Baltimore Raven Michael Pierce, who offers a lot of the same strengths and qualities Joseph did in his prime, but at just 27 years old. In fact, in 2017, both Joseph and Pierce landed in PFF's top 5 nose tackles in the NFL. But more crucial was the addition by subtraction, as the move saved the team over $5 million. Critical in an offseason the front office found themselves behind the 8 ball and strapped for cash. Watching Pierce anchor the middle of a defense like a fire hydrant has been fun to watch on tape. While the undrafted nose tackle out of the small school of Samford has never gotten much national attention, it should be noted Pierce was one of the top 5 at his position, according to PFF, 2 years in a row. In 2018 specifically, Pierce was the second best nose tackle in the entire NFL, according to PFF, behind only Damon Harrison. Pierce lined up next to Brandon Williams for most of his time at Baltimore and formed one of the best run-stopping duos in the league. However, when the Ravens jumped on the opportunity to acquire both Calais Campbell and Michael Brockers this offseason, the writing quickly became written on the wall for Pierce's inevitable trip to free agency. An absolute mammoth at 345 pounds, but more impressive is his stature at just 6 foot even. Pierce's shorter stature is what helps him dominate the leverage game against his opponents and use a powerful leg drive to stonewall blockers in their tracks. Check him out here against not just longer and taller interior linemen, but also some of the best centers and guards in the NFL, like Marquise Pouncey and Patriots Pro Bowl guards Shaq Mason and Joe Thuney. Pierce resembles an immovable tree stump at times, constantly getting lower than his opponent and then jolting them backwards with outstanding play strength and torque, often forcing tailbacks to suddenly stop and restart their path completely, blowing up run plays altogether before they even have a chance to get started. Pierce will start out in Minnesota like he finished in Baltimore as a 2-down run stuffer who holds up great against the point of attack. But working under defensive line coach Andre Patterson could unlock his pass rushing skills, which were rarely tapped into as a Raven, but did flash a tenacious bull rush when asked to penetrate into the backfield on passing downs. Early on, though, as a run defender, Pierce, with this power and strength that you see, moves well for such a big man laterally and diagnoses plays like tosses, 3-step drops, and screens before they develop. Like any great nose tackle, Pierce soaks up double teams consistently and rarely gets washed out. This is great news for Vikings linebackers who will find themselves shooting through running lanes in gaps they haven't seen since Joseph was in his prime. Guys like Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr could quietly become the biggest winners of the signing, as working behind Pierce should get both players and fans excited, as the team's leading tackler could take his game to another level of production with a quick-footed, momentum-stopping nose tackle chewing up blockers in front of him. While every coach has their own tendencies, Mike Zimmer relies heavily on creating those third and long passing situations so he can do what he does best: dial up crafty looks, disguises, and pressure in a plethora and variety of ways. None of that is possible, however, without winning on early downs and stopping the run, which will always come first. And after 3 surgeries in just 2 years, and at 32 years old, it's clear Linval Joseph just wasn't the same player he once was, lacking the explosiveness and power he once had. While replacing him might be easier said than done, Michael Pierce might be one of the top 5 strongest players in the entire league and has shown off incredible run-stopping skills in the thick of a heavy Raven rotation of linemen. Ranking as the second best run-stopping nose tackle in the NFL, according to PFF, not to mention the good chance Coach Patterson finds a way to unlock or at least improve his pass rushing prowess after helping him hone his hand technique. For now, however, and early on in his new Viking career, upgrading the nose tackle position while saving nearly $6 million in the process was a big win for this front office, and allows other young rotational players that have shown great flashes to get after the passer and continue rotating in on third downs. I specifically loved what I saw from Armon Watts and Hercules Mataafa when they could pin their ears back and generate interior pressure. Add in rookies like James Lynch, DJ Wanham, and Kenny Willekes, and the Vikings should feel good about transitioning into a new-look defense in what was being called a mini rebuild year. Without the digression or step back many teams often take in the process, after signing of Pierce and a draft class with a modern-day record and league most 15 draft picks, it's clear, under Zimmer, the Vikings will once again stay highly competitive despite the turnaround their roster has seen, especially when you look at the additions, or lack thereof, and draft classes the rest of the NFC North scrounged together. Despite the Packers coming just 1 game away from the Super Bowl, this division feels more wide open and there for the taking than ever before. For Zone Coverage, I'm Luke Inman, signing out.